Now here's another fan favorite, Jasmine Crockett.
Our nation will hire a president, a commander-in-chief, and leader of the free world. So let's compare their resumes, shall we?
Let's do it.
That's a great intro.
One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it.
I wouldn't put the porn star in there, but
Yeah, probably.
Her
That's also
entire
what I was
career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored. She is also the leader we need on the global stage. She helped secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin.
I think they did say she was involved. I don't know to what extent, but she was a part of it.
Here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the farm bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare.
these are good lines. And she's, she's more combative, and she's more partisan.
Who would you hire? Donald Trump?
That's what I love about her.
Or Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet.
I love her. Oh my God, her lines
She
are great.
presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time. In real Lago. Well, Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th. Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America. In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is. Don't make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight. Even though there is only one person qualified, only one person who's done the work and who has delivered the results. And she needs you. She needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you?
I would have thought they'd get a bigger line, applause line. They could have brought the crowd and they're
Some
like,
of you know a little
yes.
bit of my history. Some of you don't, so let me tell you. I was a public defender. I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor. Yeah. first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism. Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say. I did not copy out for her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that.
That's what every prosecutor says.
Many of you know her credentials.
But she meant it.
But what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume. Is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying.
I didn't see that coming. I did not know that story at all. That's really interesting.
And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
Good story. That's a good story.
Oh, wow.
It's not as good as Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying that her 4-year-old ran around Trump and hugged her.
It's
and that
so
proves how nice Trump is.
She then said, among other things, "You are exactly where God wants you. Your district chose you because they believe in you, and so do I."
Oh, she's good at this. Jasmine Crockett's a star. Yeah, she's good at this.
Oh, she's just 100% natural and comfortable.
I went viral for the first of many times to come. For hitting
That is true. I
Republicans
can
with a
confirm
dose
that.
of their own medicine. That brief but impactful interaction gave me my legislative legs, and I've been running ever since.
That is a powerful
The
combo
question
with
before
Raskin and
us
Crockett.
is, will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision?
Is V for Vendetta?
Yeah, I know, right? To do it on purpose.
Yeah, no.
Let's see what
For a
other
better
alliterations
America or
she has.
not? I hear alliterations are back in style.
A reference to the
deserve
bad
better.
bill. Bleach
We deserve
blondes.
a president who can be a bright light in a sea of darkness. One who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Yeah, that was a hell of a one-two punch.
I mean, they're no Clyburn, but they were good.
So Jasmine Crockett delivered the line at the end of "We won't go back," right? And so I read today that Democratic consultants tried to talk Kamala Harris out of that line.
Why?
Because they're idiots and they are lifelong idiots. And so I've never seen Democratic consultants be right ever, right? And so that it's a great line because it makes her the change candidate and makes Trump seem like old news and stale and the one you don't want. And like people hated the Trump-Biden race, and it makes it seem like we're not going back to that. We're not going back to Trump. We're not going back to the 1950s, right? And by the way, positive outlook on the future. And after that speech that she gave, for her to transition to that line was perfect. And tied her speech along with the campaign. Great lines were, she's a career prosecutor, he's a career criminal. He's a lifelong predator. She's the American dream, he's the American nightmare.
Cody Rhodes.
He has a resume. And he has a rap sheet.
That's good.
Right. She's a gifted speaker. And by the way, Jamie Raskin, and so we have a lot of channels on the TYT network. Obviously, Young Turks, Damage Report. And one of the channels we have is TYT Interviews. So TYT Investigates. So it's why it's called that is a long story. But anyway, in TYT Investigates, we put up the speeches of a lot of folks across the country, but particularly in Congress if they gave great speeches. Check it out, right? The 2 stars of that channel by a landslide in terms of what resonates with viewers, Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, they inspire people, I think. Because they have the, so really fast. We see people all the time go on the House floor and try to deliver quick lines that they think will go viral on Twitter. We see Marjorie try to do it, and Lauren Boebert do it. And they think you just say something mean and you win. But Jasmine Crockett and Jamie Raskin show that, no, you actually have to think about it. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to do the research. And none of the Republicans, certainly not Marjorie and Lauren Boebert, are able or willing to do that. And it's not just them too. I think Katie Porter has had a lot of good lines like that. AOC from time to time as well. It's because they actually know and they actually care what they're talking about. They're not just grandstanding. And they have the style.
Not only that, like for a lot of right wingers like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they feel like insulting the other side is the joke, right? That's the punchline, or that's like, aha, I got him. No, but that's just an insult. That's not That's not an ending to a story. That's not a logical point well delivered, right?
Yeah.
The reason why it resonates when Jamie Raskin sets up, hey, they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence," and the laws. Article 2 says the laws have to be faithfully executed, not your vice president.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah, it means
you see
something.
How he set it up, it delivers it, and then when he transitions to JD Vance, you might want to put a couple of thoughts behind why that position is available, right? See, that's perfect because it's actually making the point you want to make in a clever way, as opposed to the Marjorie Taylor Greene version of that would have been JD Vance bad, Pence bad, haha, got you.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't get it at all, right? Yeah. So that was terrific, those two. And it's been an interesting night because Hillary Clinton gave a pretty good speech. I thought AOC's was a little mid. Clyburn's was terrible as usual. And Sean Fain did a really good job, right? And delivered his points. So it's an interesting combination of right wing, left wing, and every part of the party. And by the way, that's why Jamie Raskin is so beloved, because a lot of people, like we were saying earlier, don't know that he's a progressive. And a lot of people in the establishment love Jamie Raskin because of how smart he is, constitutional law expert, and a Trump slayer.
Yeah.
Right. And so, they're doing a good job.
They like him the way they might like an Adam Schiff or whatever, except he's also a progressive.
Yeah, but instead of Adam Schiff, he's actually, in my opinion, very substantive, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to end on one for now. One quick comment here. Rainbow Bright wrote in on TYT.com. I think AOC's speech was about uniting. Had she went and done the speech Cenk wanted, the headlines would have been AOC steals spotlight from Harris. AOC's speech was good and it complimented Sean Fain's speech. I appreciate you and God bless you for that. But no, you don't have to give like a mediocre speech to not overshadow Kamala Harris, who's going to speak 3 nights later. And Jamie Raskin and Jasmine Crockett just proved that because they just did great speeches, but they didn't steal Kamala Harris's spotlight. They added to her spotlight.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not like the AOC speech was fine. It was fine, right? So like, our job is to analyze all the speeches and tell you what was effective about them. And Raskin and Crockett were particularly effective.
AOC had some things that were good about her speech. They had a better core to their speeches that we want to hear more. They put a lot of thought in how they delivered it. They made sure that they had lines that will stick out in a way that AOC's just didn't really have. It had some good stuff in it, but they crafted something that was substantive and stylish and well delivered.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.